Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. This week, we continue with more incredible close-up HECS encounters with spring gobblers. We're going to start out in New Mexico, where we'll catch up with Ralph Ramos of Ramos Hunts and Video Production Outfitters. Ralph is a legend in elk hunting circles as a premier guide out in New Mexico, but he doesn't stop there. Ralph loves to hunt all species, and in today's show, he's chasing turkeys with his buddy Bob Ford. Then we're going to head north to catch up with our producer Rex Summerfield and his wife Terry. Terry also helps out behind the camera quite a bit, but on today's show, she's behind the gun attempting to take a spring turkey in the mountains of Idaho. The pair really get into some action and show once again the game-changing technology that HECS really is to the turkey hunter. It's going to be a great show, and as always, we'll show it all just like it happened right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting is about getting close. Really close. Get closer than you ever thought was possible.
When you have a cameraman and you setting out in a dirt field like this, you can get away with so much with this HECS on.
I've got to give credit once again to HECS.
We showcase the science of getting close right here on Hunting with HECS.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by PSE Archery. Tough Country, American values forged in steel. Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow experts. Nocturnal Lighted Nocks, illumination that lasts for 20+ hours. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls, we call the game. Tacticam, share your hunt. Warren Winches. Trophy Properties and Auction. And HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
On this first hunt, we're with Ralph Ramos and his hunting partner, Bob Ford. The pair spotted a good flock of turkeys working a field. When the birds started filtering out of the field, Ralph and Bob were able to work around ahead of the birds and set up in the area in front of them in hopes to draw one of those big toms into range. It wasn't long before they had a great bird strutting up an old road right towards them. Both Ralph and Bob are wearing their HECS suits, and they simply sat down alongside the road with no blind or a cover at all. In fact, they don't even have a decoy out to draw the bird's attention. Even with no decoy, the pair was able to pull that bird right into range, and Bob dropped the hammer. You know, this is a pretty typical hunt when using HECS technology. While we're always pushing the limits of the technology right to the edge here on the show, we don't advocate for everyone to do that crazy over-the-top stuff that you see us do right from the start. We simply encourage people to hunt like you always did and gauge the effectiveness by comparing how the birds and animals reacted before and after wearing HECS technology. We know that you're going to see a major difference with increased close encounters, less boot game, and more notch tags than you ever did before you ever got your HECS gear.
Big boy. Nice beer. Nothing like doing it in a team effort. One caller, one shooter. I mean, this HECS gear, that stuff's just amazing. He came in, didn't even know we were there. If you've never used this HECS gear, you really need to use it. Give it a try. You'd be surprised how stealthy you become.
You know, HECS does about 30 consumer shows a year. And at those shows, you see a lot of things. You can touch the fabric, see what the product looks like, but you'll also be able to see the EMR meter. And that's what I want to show you today. For those of you who have not had the opportunity to go by and see us in person, this is a demonstration that you're going to see. So what we bring is our EMR meter. This meter actually picks up the frequency that's coming off of our body. Through heart rate and muscle movement, we're putting out an electrical energy that animals can pick up on. Birds can actually see it, and that's why it's such a big advantage this season during turkey hunting time. As you can see, when I put my hand over the meter, you can see all these spikes. When I move, it actually gets real erratic. That's because the energy in my hand is actually spiking, causing the muscles to move in my body. The important thing to remember is all of this is actually visible to a bird. Remember, birds see electrical fields visually. If a movement has this, That bird knows that he's looking at a living object and he knows he needs to react. Our regular hunting clothing, here's just cotton fabric, does absolutely nothing to block that. While it might give you a visual camo, it's not blocking that electrical field. So you can be camoed head to toe, move a little bit, even on a windy day when there's all kinds of movement. You move a little bit and that bird's gonna peg you. That's because, remember, this is visible to birds. All HECS fabrics have an electrically conductive carbon yarn grid woven right in. It's all interlocking. So what we see now my electrical energy is being captured by that grid. In the suit, it's held in capacitance and it grounds out every time you touch ground. But as you can see, it's almost completely blocked the electrical energy that's coming out of my body. So remember, this is visible to a bird. This is an inanimate movement. Both of them are movements, but the bird sees this, he can tell that that's a living being. That's why birds see your movement so very well. When you take that away using HECS technology, your movement is more like an inanimate movement and it's going to be ignored by those birds. That is why HECS is a game changer for turkey hunters and waterfowl hunters all across the country. So here this spring, be sure to get the HECS Advantage. It's going to change the way you turkey hunt and it's going to let you get away with movement.
Stick around. We're headed north right after the break. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. This week, we're chasing gobbling birds across the western U.S. Before the break, we watched Bob Ford take a nice bird in New Mexico. Now, let's catch up with host Mike Slinkard and see where we're headed next.
Now we're headed to Idaho to catch up with Rex and Terry Summerfield. If you remember last season, Rex forgot to load his shotgun after a quick setup change, and the bird that came in stood around while he clicked both barrels, reloaded the gun, reset the firing pin by opening and closing his gun a second time, and eventually watched the bird walk away after a final click on a dud shell. Well, Terry was on the camera for that whole fiasco. So this year, Terry said she's gonna hunt first. The pair roosted a bird up on the mountain the evening before and were set up on an old road nearby the next morning where they hoped they could coax him to fly down and strut right into their setup. Well, they chose a simple setup. They just sat in the open on the road bank about 12 steps from the decoys. It wasn't long before that old Tom hit the ground and he was heading their way. Well, as you can see here, he ran into the setup and didn't pay any attention to either of them sitting on the road bank right above him. You know, over the past 12 years, Terry has seen the power that HECS technology has over turkeys many times. She knew that this Tom would be totally oblivious to their presence, so she wasn't in a hurry to pull the trigger. Instead, she decided to wait and see what kind of show that Tom might put on for him. After several minutes, the Tom finally moved into a good position for a shot, and Terry squeezed the trigger. The vast majority of turkey hunters use a shotgun just like this every spring. Here, Terry's just using a regular 20 gauge with no magnums, no extreme chokes, or anything else to increase their effective range. Using HECS technology, they simply don't need the long-range gear and are able to get them close enough to take that easy shot. While the two were gathering up the bird and the decoys, a second Tom moved in below them and was making his way toward their location. It didn't take them long to drop their bird and quickly set up in hopes of a double.
Hi, I'm Bill Epperts, and I'm very fortunate to be in the hunting industry and hunt all over the world. And one thing that's really made me successful over the years is the HECS technology. And it's allowed me to take 18 Grand Slams of turkeys, 2 World Slams, the Big 5 in Africa with a bow, also all the animals in New Zealand. And one thing that I think that really helps me and I preach this in my seminars, is the HECS technology really works. It allows me to get away with more movement, and the animals do not seem to detect me in any way. So the next time you go out in the field, make sure you check out HECS technology.
The original HECS suit is very lightweight, breathable, and versatile enough to be used in almost any hunting situation. The HECS systems consist of 3 pieces. These essential pieces include a HECS pant, HECS top, and HECS head cover. You may use any combination of appropriate HECS products to achieve the goal of covering as much of your body as possible with HECS technology. All HECS hunting products are now available in our new HECS Style Anywhere and HECS Style Green digital camo patterns to match any terrain. The material features a highly electrically conductive carbon grid woven into the polyester-based cloth. The grid blocks your body's electrical field. The suit is designed to be worn under your regular camo or over the top as an outer layer. The technology is effective either way. The original pants are cut similar to sweatpants, with an elastic waistband, elastic cuffs on the bottom, side pockets, and a convenient fly. The pullover shirt features thumb holes, serge stitching, and an embroidered logo. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, our versatile multi-rag that can be worn in a variety of ways, camo gloves made of a lightweight, stretchy material in matching camo, and a heavyweight over-the-calf sock. And of course, all of the accessories have the HECS grid woven right in. Order right now and use the promo code to save $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Visit our website to learn more about our full line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering. HECS has a lot of new products, including this comfortable hooded shirt. It comes with an integrated face mask, a convenient front pocket, thumb holes, and is the perfect HECS outerwear piece for these cooler days in the field. It comes in both HECS style camo patterns as well as a two-tone version. You can check it out on our website along with our other great products. While you're there, take the opportunity to get your own HECS system on the way. We'll see if Terry can score on a double right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. Before the break, we watched as Terry Summerfield scored on a nice tom while hunting the mountains of Idaho. While she was gathering up her bird, a second tom moved in below her, prompting a change in the plans. Now, let's get back to the hunt.
There's another one down there, Goblin. Let's get set up on that one, too.
Rex and Terry were soon set up on a second bird, and he was coming in fast. As with their first setup, the pair are on the road bank across from the decoys, but this time they're even closer. Unfortunately, the bird's location put the sun right into their eyes, and even worse, it lit them up like Christmas trees setting out on a hillside only steps from the decoys. Any experienced turkey hunter knows that being lit up like that would normally be game over with a sharp-eyed old tom, but this mature bird walks right in and totally ignores them. As with the first bird, HECS technology was working its magic as usual, and Terry held her fire, hoping for a show. When he didn't seem interested in dancing, Terry raised her gun to shoot. You can see that lit up like she was in the full sun only a few steps away, the movement caught the bird's attention. But, as we've seen hundreds of times before, without the electrical tip-off that tells the bird that that movement was living, he quickly dismissed it as he would have a weed blowing in the wind, and Terry was able to notch her second tag in the morning.
I thought it was a great day when I got my first bird. I was hiking out, got the second bird, Goblin, thought we'd go ahead and get set up on him, put the decoys out. The sun was right in my eyes and I was lit up, but I was trusting HECS to do its job. Tom came in, strutted around, went ahead and took the shot, and it's now a really great day.
Our most popular HECS system is our base layer. The base layer is a lightweight semi-thermal material designed to be worn under your regular hunting clothing or over the top. It comes in the original olive green, as well as our new HECS Style Anywhere and HECS Style Green digital camo patterns to match any terrain.
The material features a highly electrically conductive carbon grid woven into the polyester base cloth. The grid blocks your body's electrical field. The suit is designed to be worn under your regular camo or over the top as an outer layer. The technology is effective either way. All complete HECS systems include 3 pieces. These essential pieces include a HECS pant, HECS top, and HECS head cover. You may use any combination of appropriate HECS products to achieve the goal of covering as much of your body as possible with HECS technology. The shirt is a quarter zip Henley with rugged serge stitching, embroidered HECS logo, and thumb holes. The form-fitting pants have rugged serge stitching throughout, and the heavy elastic waistband and cuff ensure they stay in place. They also feature a convenient fly. The head cover has a hemmed eye hole, adjustable drawstring in the back, and is very easy to use. Additional accessories are sold separately and include the HECS hat, our versatile multi-rag that can be worn in a variety of ways, camo gloves made of a lightweight stretchy material in matching camo, and a heavyweight over-the-calf sock. And of course, all of the accessories have the HECS grid woven right in.
Order right now and use the promo code to save $30 on your order of a complete HECS suit. Visit our website to learn more about our full line of clothing and accessories, as well as our fit guarantee for worry-free ordering. We have a lot more close-up action coming up right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. We're chasing turkeys this week, and after tagging a bird in New Mexico earlier with Ramos Hunts and Outfitters, we headed north to Idaho and joined Terry Summerfield, who scored on 2 birds in back-to-back setups. Now, let's get back to the action.
With both of Terry's tags filled, Rex gets a chance to swap places and take a bird for himself. The pair located another good bird gobbling on the mountainside and moved on an old grassy road that cut around the side of the mountain. They were hoping that Tom would use it as he made his way towards their setup. Well, they were above a large lake there in Idaho, and the loon calls mixed with the turkey gobbles made for a surreal morning of calling. A few minutes later, it got even better when the toms strutted right into the decoys. Just as it was with the 2 birds that Terry had taken earlier, they were set up a few steps in the decoys and in the wide open. They're plainly visible to this bird, but as we've come to expect, while wearing HECS technology, he didn't pay any attention at all and came right on in. Rex could see that the tom was behind a clump of bushes from the camera's angle, so he decided to wait and hope that it would move around so he could get some better footage of him. But after several minutes, the tom still had refused to move around the setup. This is an old, mature bird, and the longer he looked at those plastic decoys, the more suspicious he got. Finally, Rex felt that the bird was getting ready to pull the plug on the whole encounter, and he decided to go ahead and take him. Already wary of the decoys, you can see the bird reacts to the movement when Rex lifts his gun. But again, when the electrical impulses of living movement are blocked with HECS technology, the tom doesn't putt or run as he most certainly would have normally. That gives Rex plenty of time to shoot. In reality, I think he probably would have settled back down for another look at the decoys if Rex would have waited a couple of more seconds. But as it was, he stood there long enough for Rex to take a shot, and in the end, that's really what HECS is all about.
What a great day here in Idaho. This big old mature tom comes strutting into the decoy spread, and he stopped right behind a little tree, so I was waiting for him to come out from behind there. I was only about 12 steps away, sitting there in the open, HECS head to toe, and he had no idea it was there at all. The problem was he spent so much time in the decoys, he figured out that something was up, started getting a little bit nervous about him, and so I figured I better go ahead and take him before he wandered off.
HECS stealth screen may be considered by some to be one of the most controversial pieces of hunting technology to come about in recent years. Science had already proven that several species used electroreception to detect prey animals, so why couldn't prey animals use it to detect predators? In the years since the launch, HECS technology has been accepted and used prominently in the world of hunters, divers, photographers, and conservationists. It has made the transformation from what some considered a questionable new concept to a tried and proven technology. Many HECS users say they simply will not go in the field without it.
Year after year after year, I've proven that my HECS has let me get closer. I've had the most success in my camp, multiple years, and I really credit that to my HECS.
When you have a cameraman and you sitting out in a dirt field like this, you can get away with so much with this HECS on. Imagine what you can do if you don't have two of you sitting out here and you're just trying to sneak up and get one yourself.
I've got to give credit once again to HECS. This was probably the most amazing elk encounter I've ever had. I couldn't be happier with HECS, and once again, the footage, the experience speaks for itself.
If you're still wondering, does HECS really work? I think we just answered that. HECS. Yes, it really works.
Well, as you've heard me say many times, and our customers agree, HECS technology is truly the biggest game changer for the turkey hunter that's come along in at least the past 30 years. The reason is that HECS allows hunters to get away with more movement, and the birds simply don't pick you out like they do without HECS technology in play. Once again, on today's episode, we've shown you this fact playing out in real hunting situations. Not just once in a while, but over and over. You know, it doesn't matter if you hunt with a bow, shotgun, rifle, or if you're just wanting to observe wildlife in its most naturally relaxed state, HECS patented technology will help you get closer and you'll get away with more than you ever thought possible. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call or go online right now. Don't forget to use the promo code for the best pricing, but by all means, get your own HECS system on the way. You know, we have a lot of new products, so we're sure to have exactly what you need to make this season your best ever. In the meantime, we'll keep pushing the limits and bringing it to you each week, right here on Hunting with HECS.
If you have an amazing HECS encounter you'd like to share, give us a call or go online. If we use it on the air, you'll be in the running to win an exciting hunting trip with a HECS crew. You can find out more on our website. While you're online, make sure to take a minute and check us out on our social media sites as well.